Company! Platoon! Attention!
Bloodhounds!
My name is Specialist Sean Millette. I am 22 years old and a member of the Minnesota National Guard. I usually start my weekends by driving to drill. This is a 2.5-hour drive from Duluth to Camp Ripley, which is in Little Falls, Minnesota. Since joining the National Guard in 2019, I've gained many friendships along the way. Some of which include friendships that I made at basic training and also AIT, which is advanced individual training, as well as people that have came and gone within my unit. One particular thing we do every year is an individual weapons qualification. For us, this is a chance to get to shoot our rifles, which we rarely ever do, and it helps us become familiar with our weapon system.
50 right! 50 left! 50 left!
After each use of our rifles, we go inside and clean them thoroughly so that way we can prevent carbon buildup and also any malfunctions in the future. This usually takes a couple of hours for each rifle, and they also have to get inspected by our sergeants to make sure that they are cleaned.
Down! Port! Port! Arms!
Another thing that's important for us to stay trained up on each year is how to deal with a riot. This is pretty essential because the state of Minnesota has had some riots in recent years. And as a matter of fact, I was actually activated due to riots in previous years. Because of where I was at with my military training, I didn't go to what was considered the first round of riots. This included the aftermath after George Floyd passed away. However, I was around for what would be considered the second round of riots. While I was on this activation, luckily I didn't see much of any action. However, we could watch live streams on YouTube where we saw our fellow Minnesota National Guard soldiers facing rioters and protesters each night in Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center. The only real impact this had on my life was the fact that I missed the last couple weeks of my freshman year of college. And in this clip, we're doing some landmine sweeping or landmine detecting. This is something we all learned at our job training, and usually we don't have the resources to retrain on this, but luckily a few months ago we were able to get our hands on some of this stuff. So that was also very crucial that we relearned how to do that. The reason we have to relearn a lot of these skills is because we're only at drill 2 to 3 days out of the entire month, and once you go home and back to normal life, you forget about a lot of the stuff that you've learned over time. So it's pretty important that you keep retraining on a lot of the stuff that you've previously learned in order to get really good at it. As I reflect on my time in the service, it's important to remember all the things that the military has given me. While I don't know what the future has for me, I'm very excited to see the challenges I will face along the way.